Hello everyone, I'm Ethys, and today we are going to continue setting the law straight, weighing previous theories and speculations from throughout the Final Fantasy XIV universe against the new revelations of the recently published Encyclopedia Eorzea. Today we're going to talk very specifically about the late legatus of the 7th Imperial Legion of Garlemald, so-called Nael van Darnus, perhaps the single greatest threat to Eorzea in living memory and the architect of the 7th Umbral Calamity. The 7th Legion was originally commanded by Nael's father, from when Garlemald was still a humble republic, and it seems that he made no small contribution to Garlemald's magitechnical revolution, possessing as he did the inheritance of ancient Allagan secrets that had been passed down through the Darnus household for countless generations. A peer and ally of Solus Osgalvus, the elder Darnus earned legendary notoriety during the campaigns to unify Ilzabad and therein first establish the Empire. It was only natural that his two children, Nael and Eula, would be forged by the fires of conflict, both civil and foreign, and enter the Legion under the command of their notorious father. When the legatus died from an illness sudden and swift, Nael appeared in his place, having evidently replaced all of his officers and guard with a series of brutal public executions, as was his prerogative as a legatus after all. Many people in the capital quietly speculated that Nael had a hand in his father's death. In any case, the White Raven was known from the first day of his command as relentless, uncompromising, and cruel, and it was a combination of terror and respect that steeled and tempered the 7th Legion under his command. They quickly became the most feared of all Imperial Legions, crusading into Othard in the east and dominating its nations one by one at the fore of the Imperial phalanx. It was by the collaboration of House Darnus with Grand Minister of Industry Midas nan Garlond that Project Meteor was conceived as a final solution to the problem of Eorzea and its icons, and Nael's singular fanaticism, which convinced the aging Emperor to give him command of the operation, despite the complete annihilation of the Bozja Citadel and death of Garlond caused by the initial tests. It was here, in the latter part of 1572 and of 1.0, that we in Eorzea came to know the terror of the White Raven, and his preference to lead his men into battle girt with shimmering white armor and wielding that unmistakable gun halberd, Bradamante. The point of today's episode, however, is not to reassess the campaign and eventual defeat of Darnus upon the Riven Road, which I detail quite thoroughly in an old video I made on the story of 1.0, but the revelations which we were faced with much later, after his quite but not quite death, and his mysterious reappearance, stalking the ruins of Dalamud during A Realm Reborn. When Alisaie struck the helm from Nael Deus Darnus, the face revealed was that of a woman, and this revelation spurred a great deal of debate in the community around this time. Many people posited that Nael had been a woman all along, and that those whom had referred to her otherwise had simply been ignorant of the person beneath the visage of the White Raven. But it seemed curious to me that even her fellow legatus Gaius van Belsar would refer to Nael as a man, and well passing curious that she would be able to hide her gender in the first place. Livius Sas Junius gives us sufficient evidence to believe that women are capable of achieving rank in the Garlean military, and even if they're excluded from aspiring to legatus, there must have been a point at which Nael ascended through those lower ranks whose uniforms are not so elaborate and encapsulating. It seems near impossible that she could have gone her entire military career disguised as a man, and once again without any explicit motivation to do so. Then there is, of course, the fact that even once the secret is out and the illusion's redundant, Nael continues to refer to him or herself with the masculine pronoun. It was in piecing all this together that Alisaie came up with a sound theory, and it was a theory that I concurred with for the longest time. Nael lived as a man and died a man in 1572 upon the Riven Road. Deus Darnus conceded that herself in her description of the place. The creature enthralled by Bahamut was a spirit already broken and dispersing, mid-transition between life and oblivion before the will of the dreadworm collected the scattered pieces that could be salvaged and violently forced them back together. Without a living body to return to, Alize supposed that this creature had taken a brittle shell reconstructed from images of memory, and I agreed, speculating that Nael might have taken a face reflected by memories of his mother, or by this mysterious Bradamante with whom he was fixated enough to dedicate his spear. Alize thought it was a sound theory. I thought it was a sound theory. It compounded the tragedy of Nael's fall, and for the longest time, it was the best we could do. The truth, however, eluded both of these theories. Nael van Darnus was not a woman, and Nael deus Darnus was not a simulacrum in the shape of fond memories. Nael, quite simply, was not Nael. Although no source or reason is offered for how the diegetic author of the Encyclopedia Eorzea could possibly know the truth, we still have to take it as fact. And the fact is that Nael never made it to the rank of legatus. Nael didn't even outlive his own father. I mentioned earlier that both children of the elder Darnus, Nael and Eula, entered the Legion under their father's command. It seems that a lack of respect for the lives of those serving under them was an inherited trait. A young Nael returned home one day, mortally wounded in a doomed operation irresponsibly ordered by his father. After Eula, an aspiring chirurgeon at the time, failed to save him, Nael's betrothed, a young woman named Bradamante, impaled herself upon his halberd. Eula had deeply loved her brother, and the grief and trauma of this experience evidently broke her as well. She assassinated their father and took up the mantle and identity of Nael, hoping to earn him the legacy that he deserved, murdered all who had been close to her father to ensure her cover, and declared Nael van Darnus legatus of the 7th Legion, with none living to oppose him. In the guise of a dead man, and wielding a weapon named for his dead lover, Eula subjected the nations of Othard and her soldiers both to a bloodshed of madness and grief. A madness which, redoubled and directed by the influence of Bahamut's own, following Eula's reinitiation of Meteor, became one of the most terrible threats our world has ever known. And with that clarified, I think we have sufficiently set the law straight concerning the late legatus Nael van Darnus. I hope you all enjoyed this episode and that I've resolved some old confusions. As always, leave your thoughts below, like, share, and subscribe for more. I'm Ethys. Thanks for watching.